any horror stories apart from this one time. The way he cussed me out, even my father has never cussed me like that.
All this Henny got me out of focus. The only thing that's clear is your motive.
Hello, welcome back to Flight Mode. I don't want to call it Flight Mode Mondays anymore because they don't drop on Mondays, but it's a Flight Mode series. I'm back, and guess what? I'm better. I know I'm 2 weeks out. I know it, but in my defense, I have been on annual leave, and in my annual leave I went to Barbados. I loved it. It was amazing. The vlog is coming, so stay tuned and stay locked for that. And I also had a very close friend of mine who got married, so I went to like his traditional wedding, and I went to his what we call in like the African culture white wedding, which is just like a normal church wedding. Yeah, so I went to that. So I just had a really packed couple of weeks, and it was just really hard for me to film and edit, but I'm back, and I'm back with a regular schedule, and I'm back with a lot more content, guys. Yeah, can I get a whoop whoop? This week I am talking all things cabin crew. So I feel like a lot of the time there's things that we have to do on board, and people feel like it's a personal attack on them, or like we're just being mean, and I'm here to set the record straight. I said that really fresh, the record. I'm here to set the record straight that honestly it's not personal, it's not you, it's me, okay? It's really not you. And this was inspired by Lady F. Big up yourself, Lady F. Woo! She left a comment on my first Flight Mode video, and the comment was, I'm just going to read it from my phone, was, why don't you wake people up for the food rounds? Also, if you're asleep, could you ask the crew for your food? So that inspired me, because I felt like, you know what, there's a lot of things that happen on board, and sometimes like you don't want to ask the cabin crew, or you're not sure. And I won't even like, if y'all follow me on Instagram, which you should be, Wheretygoes, you know I'm a foodie, I love food, so don't play with my food. I will take it personally if you did not give me food, like, and I know that it seems like it's a personal attack, or like we've just ignored you, but honestly we haven't. And I'm here to clear it all up and tell you 5 things you think is personal but it really isn't. Like cabin crew, we just have to do these things, right? We might as well start with the first question, which was, why don't we wake our customers up when we're doing our meal service? And depending on which cabin you're in, you are given a meal, is it called like a breakfast card, or you're spoken to. Like if you're in the first class cabin, we have a conversation with you, and we'll ask you, because it's a much smaller cabin, it's a much more intimate cabin, so you have the chance to talk to people one-to-one, and you kind of have a relationship with your customers, so you can speak to them and you can find out if they want to eat, if they want to sleep, if they want you to wake them up. So that's what happens in the first class cabin. Then if you're in the business class cabin, we have breakfast cards that we hand out during the beginning of the flight, and we encourage everybody to fill it out. And on that breakfast card, it determines, like, it has questions that ask you whether you want to be woken up for breakfast or you want to sleep, and if you're like a full breakfast, or if you're just like some tea and some juice. And then when you're in economy, we kind of just come out, right? Because there's a lot more people in economy. There's like so many more people. It's like maybe like 200 people in economy, whereas there might be like 57 people or 60 people in business class, opposed to there being like 14 people maximum. So you can understand, in terms of the quantity of people, it's a lot harder to have that one-to-one relationship, or, you know, hand out cards and things like that. So anyway, that's what happens at my airline. Every airline's different, but the general consensus is that if somebody's sleeping and they haven't asked you to wake them up, you leave them to rest. Because I don't know if you have a meeting when you get off that flight, so you want to sleep, you don't want to eat, or if you've already eaten before you've gotten that flight. I do not know those things, and I cannot determine those things for you. So just out of sheer respect, I'm going to leave you to sleep, right? Because unless it's a safety reason, I'm not waking you up, because you haven't told me. So what I advise anybody is, if you know you're like me and you're a foodie, you want to eat your food, when you get on board and you're feeling a little bit sleepy, just say to or even if you're not feeling sleepy, just like make a note to whoever's in your cabin, maybe when they're coming around initially or walking around, just say, like, just to let you know, if I am asleep, could you please wake me up when the food comes around. Honestly, it's no bother at all. We will do that for you, but without your consent, we're not going to wake you up. If you're tired and you want to sleep and then someone wakes you up, you don't even want to eat, you're going to be thinking, who asked you? I would. But yeah, that is, so it's not personal. It's not you, it's us, okay? It's not personal, honestly. Then the second thing was bags, right? So so many times people come on board with their bags and they ask if you could pick up the bag and put it into the overhead locker. We are not insured to carry any luggage and put it anywhere. Just because, think of it, you've left your home and you've packed your bag, right? And you've picked up that bag and you know how heavy that bag is, and you know that, I would suspect that you know that you can carry that weight. That's why you've packed it as your bag for the overhead locker, right? Your cabin bag. However, I didn't pack that bag with you, right? So if you come on board and you ask me to pick up that bag and that bag is too heavy for me to pick up and I hurt myself, the company's going to turn around and say to me, who asked you to pick up that bag? Because they say to us specifically, don't pick up people's bags because you don't know the weight of it. Like, you can't risk assess it, if that makes any sense. If I look at a bag, I can't determine if it's too heavy for me to carry or if it's not. And the thing is, everybody's got different strengths, right? So what you may deem is not that heavy, I may find is too heavy and I may hurt myself, and we're not covered if we hurt ourselves. So we actually generally cannot pick up your bags. Like, when we say no, I mean, I generally don't say no. I normally be like, you know what, I can get someone to help me, or I can help you, which I'm not really even supposed to, but I'm happy to, like, if I feel like, you know what, or even if I feel like you can't do it, I'll get someone else to help me. But generally, we're not really supposed to pick up your bags. And it's not personal, like, it's actually not you. We're not just trying to be mean, like, we're told don't pick up people's bags. I've seen people pick up bags and hurt themselves because the bag's been too heavy. So that is number 2. Number 3, waking you up when the seatbelt sign goes off. We don't wake anybody up unless it's safety related. So if the seatbelt sign goes off and I cannot see that your seatbelt is on, so you've got your blanket over your seatbelt, unfortunately I have to wake you up, because for your safety, because if anything happens and you fall out that chair, I didn't do my part. I didn't check to know that your seatbelt was on. And what we have to do is, so when the seatbelt signs go off, you'll notice that all the cabin crew go through the cabin and they start checking that people have their seatbelt signs on. We do this because we have a duty of care. Once you get on board, we have a duty of care to you to make sure that you are safe. We encourage people all the time. Like, as soon as you come on board, I hear the flight crew make the announcement. I hear the customer service manager on board make the announcement. I even tell people as I'm walking past and I can see they're getting a bit sleepy, I always say to them, like, just to let you know, I think, like, I would advise you to put your seatbelt over your blanket, because if you fall asleep, I'm gonna have to wake you up. You know, people always ask me, oh, when have you had, like, horrible customers or bad experiences at work? To be honest, 95% of the time, yeah, passengers are really nice to me. I don't know, maybe because I'm nice to them, you know. I feel like you receive the energy that you give off, so I'm always really nice. Smiles in the eyes, like, I'm really happy, chirpy, like, that's how I get through my day. So most of the time, passengers, they're really lovely to me. I don't ever have any issues. Even if they have an issue, I'm generally boys with them already. Like, we're normally, like, I've been laughing with them, so they're like, you know what, it's not your fault, XYZ, this happened. Like, I'm always really good with passengers, and passengers are always really good with me. So I don't really have any horror stories apart from this one time, right? And it was to do with seatbelts. One time I was really new. I must have been in, like, my first year, or like maybe just over 6 months, right, flying. And I went to go and wake up a passenger, and this man was so mad at me. The way he cussed me out, even my father has never cussed me like that. He really gave it to me. He really told me about my life. I felt like this when he had finished with me, and it was because I woke him up. And you know what, it's not nice how he treated me. I always encourage you guys, be nice to your crew. Honestly, the key to a nice flight is be nice to your crew. Don't shout at them, don't be cussing them, calling them all names on the sun. It's not cute and it's not going to be tolerated. Don't do it. I do not condone the way he spoke to me. Like, he was told off. Like, I spoke to him, my manager spoke to him as well, and in the end he apologized. But the fact of the matter is, I like my sleep too. If someone wakes me up from my sleep, I'm switching. So I kind of got where he was coming from, but at the same time, you've been warned. Put your seatbelts over your blanket. Don't say I didn't tell you. Okay? Number 4 is, this is another one. Like, honest to you guys, we do not know more than the flight crew has told you in their PA about why we're delayed. Sometimes I get the information as you're getting the information. Like, generally, they would just might say, oh, we're delayed, and then the flight crew will start doing an announcement and explaining why we're delayed. Oh, I don't know, someone didn't show up, so they need to take the person's baggage out of the hold, or XYZ. And then people come and ask us, like, what's the real reason? That really is the real reason. Like, we're not hiding anything from you. Like, one thing I can say about the airline industry is they're really honest. Like, they tell you what's going on, and if anything is not safe, trust me, believe you me, I'm not trying to be on that flight either. So when the PA is made about delays, that really is the reason, and I really don't know anymore. Sometimes I feel like you guys even know more than me, because you can go on the apps and you can go on like these flight checkers, and you probably find out before we even find out that it's delayed. Sometimes we're the last people to know. We find out as you find out. Last one is, oh, this is the last one, which is really important. On board, right, we don't have, for my airline, we don't have special meals. Like, so if you're vegan, if you're lactose intolerant, if you are gluten free, if you are vegetarian, like, we don't specifically have these meals just to hand. Generally, you have to order them, like pre-order them. I feel like sometimes people feel like I am lying. What happens is they load us in percentages, in like a ratio of vegetarian to like meat dishes, right? So there'll always be like a vegetarian option, but most of the time there's less of the vegetarian option than there is to, like, say, the chicken or the beef. So if you haven't ordered for a vegetarian meal and you're sat right at the back of the cabin, and I come to the back of the cabin and I'm like, there's no more vegetarian meals, I didn't eat your vegetarian meal. I didn't like purposely give away all the vegetarian meals. There generally is no more vegetarian meals. So word of advice is, the ideal thing would be to just order your meal like before. If you know you have a special dietary requirement, I just say order the meal. If you are vegetarian and you let me know that you're vegetarian, I will keep one aside for you. So that is my tip for you guys, yeah? And that's all I've got for you today. Those are the 5 things that you may think that cabin crew do to you personally, but it really isn't. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I've given you an insight into my cabin crew life. Make sure you click that like if you enjoyed it. Write down below something that you feel like cabin crew have done and you're not sure if it was personal or if it was something that they couldn't do, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know if they were just being mean or if they were just following the rules. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you tune in next week. Bye bye.